Ever a sign that city has outgrown its scally past, it's when it opens a champagne boutique. Portfolio is the latest drinking and dining destination to pop up on Bridge Street. It's got a swagger, it's not fussy, fusty, uptight or prissy. It's a relaxed, bright, beautiful place to be in. Following a successful boozy few months, the food side is now launched in the capable hands of Julian Pizer, ex of Another Hand, one of my favourite independent restaurants of recent years. He teams up with Cameron Foster, founder of De Six Wines, an importer specialising in artisan champagnes. The food side has been devoted around the perfect bite. It's evolved from a snack-based menu at the bar into a full dining experience. The champagne side is a must. They might have one of the city's best chefs in the kitchen, but they've also got one of the country's best champagne guys looking after the drink side. Set menus, there's lunch, evening, and even longer evening, priced fairly for this level of experience. And it is an experience. Every single person involved is operating at the top of the game without getting shouty and overly intense about it. Julian and Cameron operate in a fixed roles. One does food, one is drinks, and they don't cross the streams. And it makes sense. They're both the best of what they do. There's no need for each other to interfere. Let the best guy do the best job. It works. Too many cooks spoil the broth and all that. These are two big beasts in their respective fields. Let them do their thing. And it's all propped up by the great and good of Manchester's high-end food scene. If you've enjoyed teeny tiny portions of hogget, chawanmushi, or obscure Danish wine in the past few years, you'll recognise a familiar face or two. There's a lot of similarities between the region of Champagne and Manchester. In fact, it rains more in Champagne than it does here, so you can shove your rainy city. In actual fact, it might rain more days in Champagne, but Manchester downpours are heavier. So we win. We win on that side. And these guys, this team go over to Champagne a lot partying. The stories are pretty good. If you manage to get them on a bit of downtime, pick the brains. They go living it up with the winery owners. And yeah, you'll want to go and do that. They do have a few hard rules and principles, but this comes from people who really know the stuff. They're progressive. They want to get rid of all the outdated junk of old-fashioned stuff you find down in. That means no flutes, no ice, no dress code. And even though champagne might sound elitist, but it's not. You can get a glass of champagne for just over a tenner, and you'll pay way more for a cocktail anywhere in this area, anywhere around Springfield, centre of Manchester. It's not an elitist place. This is a place you can pop into and get a drink fairly easily without breaking the bank. For the food, for your money, you get a series of bite-sized portions spread out over 2 to 4 hours, suitable for dates and mates alike. Highlights include a beautiful rose crafted from beetroot, resting on a combination of burnt cream, cocoa and pine. And possibly my favourite, there's a miniature kebab-style series of duck cuts, duck neck sausage, duck breast and confit duck leg bonbon, paired with a chocolate mole and sour cherry gel. Yeah, this is the one I'm going to go back for. The food is designed to be sort of handsy and communal, but you're encouraged to pick it up. Although they do have some impressive pieces of cutlery. There's a hand-carved 2-pronged fork thing that's phenomenal. It's super expensive apparently. Each one is handmade. Other dishes include oyster squared, which is a tempura battered chicken oyster. The meal opens with that. The potbelly is great. A cube of pork on the trident. It's crunchy, it's soft, it's fatty, it's salty. There's beef fat tartare, which is Dexter beef tartare served on a beef fat hash brown. It comes with a translucent layer of jellified fat over the top, which might not sound that appealing, but the fat is laid over the dish like a blanket. Soft and memorable. The artichoke skin snack, incredibly crunchy. It's just a simple little dish, but it's a 3-day process to make this, involving like cooking, dehydrating, refrying, flavored with coffee, rum and butter. Phenomenal. There's a little carrot tartlet. It's a dressed carrot salad in a crispy little tart shell, crustade, with gooseberries and sheep's curd. There's lobster roll. I mean, they should sell this in vans. This is brioche brushed with pork fat. The filling uses lobster claw meat and an emulsion made by deep frying lobster shells to extract the oil. Try that at home. It comes with a spring shoot salad taco, shisho leaf base containing 14 different herbs, including mussel, mizuna leaves. It's dressed with a blackcurrant vinaigrette. Best way to eat it, save this till last. You wrap the salad in the leaf and then pop it down. I don't know why, but it works. They know what works, and this works. And the sweet finale, a bit of an nod to Julian's roots. He's from New Zealand. A delicate array of kiwi, blackberry and mint, a marshmallow interior rather than traditional meringue, served with fromage blanc, fresh curd. Beautiful little mouthfuls. Obviously the food is worth a visit in its own right, but without the paired wines, you're only getting half the story. Each glass of champagne delivers the goods, trotting through bubbles, red and rosé, adding as much to each course as the comestibles. Many high-level restaurants say as much attention goes in the drinks, but this is the first place of note where that genuinely feels the case. There's one wine that doesn't exist anymore, which appeals to the crate digger in me. My favourite, the 2002 L'Amiable, which means likeable. This is a 50-50 mix of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir from Tours Sauman, a 24-year-old vintage. Go in, grab a glass, you ain't gonna have that ever again. If you've been to any high-end restaurants, you've probably been a little bit bored to death by some of the lectures that get given out. Sometimes it's nice, but here it's more informal and accessible. You're getting the goods in an interesting format, courtesy of sommelier Nico, who has been poached from some of the city's best restaurants. If ever a set menu is Michelin star worthy, it's this. Sort of like a mini manor in a way, but nothing like that kind of military style, cult-like atmosphere. Julian does a little introduction to the courses, and he just says it's about fun. It's not a pompous eat your greens experience. It's about fun, which is what food should be. It's the right way to do it. I had a little chat with the guys behind it afterwards, in Vino Veritas, and it's not so much that they're opposed to Michelin, but the goal isn't to get a Michelin star. And that makes sense. It's stifling. That kind of stuff is stifling. If someone wants to make beautiful, incredible food, it's not good to have these weird restrictions. I mean, I like Michelin stars. It's a good guide. It's a good guide to where to go and to get exciting food. But I'm hearing from a lot of chefs lately that it's not good to work to a template when making this kind of food. It makes sense. Regardless, this is up there. It's the apex of fine dining without all the pomp and circumstance. This is what high-end modern Manchester should be doing. This is a chef's restaurant. This is a sommelier's wine bar rather than a traditional buttoned-up fine dining restaurant. I like Julian's attitude. He's just a man who wants to cook. He doesn't want to do all the song and dance. He doesn't want to play the court jester. He just wants to cook. He just wants to make great, beautiful, fascinating, brilliant food. And in portfolio, he's doing it. For me, each year, there's a handful of meals that truly blow me away. But I think about constantly, with time and money allowed, being there every other weekend. This is the high watermark of the year's dining for me so far. Top of the tree right now. In summary, portfolio is a powerful addition to Bridge Street. It takes the swagger of the nearby Stowe and throws in some of the most memorable drinks and intricate eats you're going to find in Manchester for a long, long time.